Namaste. In today's,
Namaste.
I am Ishaan.
I am Dr. Usha Rani from Andhra University.
Today we are going to look at the third Ślokam from Soundarya Lahari, Grantham by Shankaracharya. Avidya namantastimira-mihira-dvipa-nagari
Avidya namantastimira-mihira-dvipa-nagari
Jadanam chaitanya-stavaka-makaranda-shruti-chari
Jadanam chaitanya-stavaka-makaranda-shruti-chari
Daridranam chintamani-gunanika
Daridranam chintamani-gunanika
Janma-jaladho nimagdanam
Janma-jaladho nimagdanam
Damshra-muraripo varahasya bhavati.
Varahasya bhavati. Ishaan, what's the difference between avidya and ajnana?
Yes. So, this is a very complex question with respect to philosophy. And Shankaracharya here he coins the term avidya instead of ajnana because ajnana dhvanta dhvamsini is a namam given to Devi. But here Shankaracharya starts with the word avidyana antastimira mihiradvipanagari. So here avidya is a very different word and it's not to be wrongly interpreted or poorly interpreted as ajnana because there are two different words coming from two different dhatus. So dhatu jnana is jnatva, comes from a root word called jnatva. Jnatva is to know or the ability to cognitively understand or perceive knowledge. So the cognitive perception of knowledge is called jnana. When a person has no idea, that he himself is the Brahman, when the person has no idea that he is the ultimate, when the person has no idea of the concept of Atma, Dehatma Bhranti and Brahman, then the person is said to be living in Ajnana. He has no idea at all. That's not his mistake. But Avidya is where a person knows that he is Brahman. A person knows that he is not, this is not him, this body is not him. But there's a slight difference between avidya and ajnanam. Ajnanam is where the person doesn't know, it is not his mistake. Avidya is where a person knows the partial reality, but is still covered with the maya avaranam. And because of that maya, because of the illusion, he wrongly perceives the knowledge and wrongly or misinterprets the philosophy. And in that kind of a case, it is called avidya. So avidya is more dangerous. Ajnanam is not dangerous. When a person is in ajnanam, it is just that the person lacks knowledge. When a right guru approaches, he will know what's the truth. But ajnanam is dangerous. He partially knows the truth and misinterprets the truth, which is avidya, which can be observed in the case of Sureshwaracharya, Mandana Mishra, in Shankaracharya's life. So Mandana Mishra has avidya. So philosophers, I am not quoting this statement, it is quoted by many researchers in Advaita. They say Mandana Mishra is knowledgeable, but that is wrongly interpreted. So that kind of examples are quoted to be avidya. So when a person is in avidya, avidyanam antastimira mihiradvipanagari. Avidya is a very, very dark side of the nature. So when someone is having avidya, antastimira, that timiram is gone by something. What is that? What is that makes this timiram destroy? It is Devi's mihiradvipam. So Devi's manidvipam is that much powerful and radiant. Such a radiant manidvipam, which is equivalent to hundreds and thousands of suns. Mihiradvipanagari. Avidyana antastimira mihiradvipanagari. When someone is in the darkness of avidya, sun arises and that radiance of that sun destroys avidya. And that radiance of sun is manidvipam itself. Avidyana antastimira mihiradvipanagari. Jadanam chaitanya-stavaka makaranda shruti-chari. Jada is a vastu or lakshanam of a vastu in Sankhya Shastra where that doesn't tend to have changes. There is no change. And Sankhya is all about changes in Prakriti and Purusha. And what kind of changes, what kind of vitality affects the life and the cycle of life is Sankhya Shastra. But here Jada Padartham or Jada Vastu is something that doesn't tend to change, has inert nature. Jada Nam, everyone is Jada in nature when they are in Maya. Jada Nam Chaitanya Stabaka Makaranda Shruti Shari. Devi is the one who bestows with a flow of honey. But it's not a normal honey. That is different from honey. So that is a Chaitanya Makarandam, which is the honey or a flow or Avirala Chaitanyam, which means unbreakable, unstoppable flow of Chaitanyam or Jnanam to those Jadas. She is basically bringing out people from Avidya, Ajnanam, and she provides us, she bestows us with Jnanam. Jadanam Chaitanyastabaka Makaranda Shruti Daridranam Chintamani Gunadika. She is the one who is an equivalent to Chintamani for everyone who is in Daridryam. So what is the nature of Chintamani? Kalpavriksha, Kamadhenu, Chintamani are all of the same category. But Kalpavriksha and Kamadhenu will only bestow you with the things you need when you ask them physically. But Chintamani is known to have that ability to give you anything, to bestow you with whatever you need without the need of asking, without the need of physically asking, without the need of opening a mouth. So Daridranam Chintamani Gunanika, Janma Jaladhau Nimagnanam, the one who is in the Jalathi of Janma. Shankaracharya says Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. There is a cycle, Janmam Maranam and then Jivanam in between. So one who is very much stuck in the cycle of Jananam, that is Janma Jaladhau Nimagnanam, Devi is the one who rescues you from that particular Janma Jalati. And how she rescues you is by taking her form of Varahi. And that Varahi is being described here. And here, he says, Janma Jaladu Nimagnanam Damshtra, with her Damshtra, which is the canine teeth. She helps you, she rescues you from that Janma Jaladi with her canines, which are the same as Muraripu, the one who is the Shatru or the enemy of Murasura, which is Murari himself. Muraripu Varahasya Bhavati. The avatar of Murari, Varaha, has two canines which are curved this way, which are the ones which have rescued Bhudevi, which is in Samudram. So Devi also takes that Varaha form, which in feminine aspect is called Varahi, and that Varahi rescues the Bhakta from something called Janma Jaladhau. Varahaswami rescued Bhudevi from a Jaladi in the Patala Lokam. Devi rescues Bhakta from a Janma Jaladhi with the same Varaha Damshra Rupam, Varahi Rupam. So here from a mantra aspect, Shankaracharya discussed about Varahi, but not directly. This is an interpretation. Again, interpretations change. Bhaskaracharya's interpretation would be something different, slightly different from Vidyaranya Swami's interpretation. Vidyaranya's interpretation would be slightly different from Padmapadacharya's interpretation. So this is one of those interpretations.